Hi, this is Tim Lotus with discussion board number 5. And originally I was going to discuss a topic about the 1930s because that's my favorite area to study in history. But after doing the blog post and the blog about early American Christian foundations, I did the post about the Puritans who settled New England because I thought they were such a unique group because there was such a large settlement during the Great Migration, and then it stopped, and then it was natural increase mostly. And for the fact that the people who settled New England were mostly middle class East Anglians, and they were not settling because they wanted riches or financial gain in the New World, but they just wanted to be able to practice their unique form of Protestant religion in the New World without being harassed by the king and his version of what the people of Britain should be worshiping. And I found a lot of interesting articles about the Puritans. One was Robert Anderson in New England Quarterly had a lot of statistics that showed how after the Pilgrims, of course, were the first in 1620, but there really wasn't a pickup in migration until 1630, when King Charles increased taxes a lot and was really clamping down on the Puritans to follow his version of Anglicanism. And it peaked in about the mid-30s. I think he cites the year 1634 as the peak year of migration, and then it abruptly stopped in 1640. And that obviously was because of the English Civil War was erupting, and the Puritans were fighting to control the country, and they were less concerned about going into a new world and starting a new settlement. Instead, they could redefine their own home country. And it was interesting to see also in another article by Roger Thompson about how 4 out of 5 of the Puritans who came over to the early New England settlements during the Great Migration were from just one region, just from East Anglia in eastern England. And it was amazing how so many people from just that one region were able to start a civilization across the ocean. But this record of being very similar to each other is disputed by some historians, and I found a couple articles that were interesting about that. One was by Helena Wall, and she asserts that not all the Puritans were middle class individuals, that it just happened to be the middle class was the best at keeping and maintaining records. So it makes it look like it was all middle class immigrants, but really they were people from all different classes, or poorer classes, I should say. And one example is, she said that a lot of times they didn't include their servants, and they brought servants because they knew life was going to be hard in New England, and so they brought their servants with them across the ocean. And often, she said, they did not include them in the immigration records. And a similar point was made by historian Ben Phillips, who said that the Puritans wanted to maintain an image of homogeneity and sameness, and so that's the way they wanted to be recorded for posterity, and their divisions were not emphasized in the records that we have today, but there were more diverse populations, most likely, than what we think of in modern times from the records that they kept. But overall, I think a great influence of the Puritans, because of their fast migration and sudden abrupt stop where they were increased more naturally rather than by immigrants coming in on a steady stream like Virginia was settled, was that they were very culturally tied together, very independent, and I think it had a lot to do with them being the first to take violent action against England when they tried to reassert their rule at the time of the Revolution. I don't think it's a coincidence that it's started there. The protest started in New England, and I think it was a lot because of the culture that developed there because of the Puritans, the way the Puritans settled it in the 1630s. And I think that's the number one lesson that I want to take away with this discussion board. Thank you.